Burnout has become one of the most common experiences of modern life. It shows up quietly at first, a lack of energy, a loss of enthusiasm, a sense that everything feels heavier than it should. And over time it deepens. Days blur together, motivation fades, even rest stops working. Many people assume this means they're weak, ungrateful, or incapable of keeping up. But burnout is rarely a personal failure. More often, it's a signal. Burnout is not always caused by doing too much. Sometimes it comes from doing things that no longer feel meaningful. From giving effort without connection. From waking up every day and moving through responsibilities without understanding why they matter anymore. Purpose is what gives effort direction. Without it, even small tasks can feel exhausting. Society values productivity. People are praised for pushing through exhaustion. Keep going is treated as a virtue. But constantly pushing without reflection slowly drains something deeper than physical energy. When people lose touch with purpose, they begin to operate on autopilot. They fulfill obligations, they meet expectations, they survive, but they stop feeling alive. This is why burnout often feels confusing. From the outside, life may look stable. There may be a job, a routine, responsibilities being met, yet internally, there's a growing sense of emptiness. The work no longer feels connected to values. The effort feels transactional. Energy is spent, but nothing meaningful is restored in return. Purpose doesn't mean having a grand mission or a perfectly defined calling. It doesn't require certainty or passion every day. Purpose can be simple. It can be rooted in growth, contribution, responsibility, or integrity. What matters is that actions align with something that feels personally significant. When that alignment disappears, burnout fills the gap. Many people try to fix burnout by resting more, taking time off, or changing external circumstances. While rest is important, it's rarely enough on its own. Without addressing the deeper disconnect, burnout returns. The issue is not just fatigue, it's misalignment. The body slows down because the mind and spirit are no longer engaged. Reconnecting with purpose often begins with honesty. Honest reflection about what feels draining and what feels meaningful. About where effort is being given out of obligation rather than intention. About whether current routines support growth or merely maintain survival. This kind of reflection can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Purpose also evolves. What once felt meaningful may no longer fit the person you're becoming. Burnout can be the sign that an old version of purpose has expired. This doesn't mean something is wrong. It means growth is occurring. Letting go of outdated motivations creates space for something more aligned to take shape. When purpose begins to return, burnout does not vanish overnight, but something shifts. Effort starts to feel lighter. Direction becomes clearer. Energy slowly rebuilds, not because life is easier, but because it feels worthwhile again. Even difficult days carry meaning when they're connected to something that matters. So for those experiencing burnout, it's important to remember, exhaustion doesn't mean you're broken. It means something within you is asking for change. Purpose is not found by pushing harder. It's rediscovered by listening more closely. Burnout is not the end, it's a crossroad, a quiet invitation to realign effort with meaning and survival with intention. When purpose returns, even in small ways, energy follows. Many people set goals with genuine intention. They want to improve their health, strengthen their mindset, build a business, deepen a relationship, or create a life they feel proud of. The desire is real. The hope is sincere. But when the time comes to take action, many find themselves stuck at the starting line. not because they lack ambition and not because they lack potential, but because they simply don't know what to do next. This uncertainty leads to hesitation, then second guessing, and then frustration. And before long, the goal they once felt inspired to start feels overwhelming. It becomes easier to say, "I don't know where to begin," than to admit something else, that the path already exists and guidance is available. The truth is, almost anything worth doing has been done before. The path might not be identical, but the patterns are there. People have succeeded in every field, overcome every challenge, and navigated every type of uncertainty. And the lessons they learned along the way are out in the open for anyone willing to study them. Books, courses, mentors, coaches, role models, stories. Each one is a blueprint waiting to be used. Success doesn't require guessing. It doesn't require reinventing the wheel. It requires learning from those who walked the road before you and allowing their experience to shorten your learning curve. This is not about copying someone else's life. It's about understanding the principles that consistently lead to growth. Every mentor, every successful individual, every person who has changed their life has followed certain fundamentals: discipline, patience, consistency, humility, and the willingness to learn. These principles are timeless because they work. They don't belong to any specific industry or generation. They're simply the foundations of progress. When you learn from others, you gain something priceless: clarity. The fog of uncertainty begins to lift. You start to see that your obstacles are not unique, and your challenges are not impossible. You begin to recognize patterns in the stories of people who've struggled, adapted, and eventually succeeded. Their journey becomes a map you can use, not to eliminate difficulty, but to navigate it with confidence. And yet many people avoid this step. They believe they should figure everything out alone. Others fear asking questions or reaching out for help. Some think learning from others somehow diminishes their independence. But seeking guidance is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of maturity. It shows a willingness to grow, to stay open-minded, and to learn from wisdom earned through experience. When you allow mentors and proven paths to guide your next steps, you carry less weight. You don't spend months stuck in trial and error. You don't waste energy on guesswork. Instead, you move forward with a sense of direction and purpose. The journey becomes less confusing and far more achievable. Learning from others does not replace your personal effort. It strengthens it. It gives you tools, insights, and strategies that you can adapt to your own life. It reminds you that you're not walking alone. It reinforces the truth that success in any form is not a mystery. It's a process. When you're standing at the edge of a goal feeling unsure of what to do next, you don't need to abandon the dream. You need guidance. You need models. You need examples of people who've already walked through what you're walking through. Their lessons can become your foundation. So use the knowledge available to you. Learn from those who came before you. Study their habits, their failures, their resilience, their willingness to keep going. Not because you need to become them, but because their path can illuminate your own. Every journey becomes more possible when you stop walking it blind. Follow the examples, apply the lessons, let their wisdom give you clarity, and then take the next step, your step, with confidence. We've all had moments where life knocks us down. Maybe it's the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a mistake you can't take back, or a dream that slips through your fingers. In those moments, it can feel like the world has burned down around you, like everything you worked for is gone, and you're left with nothing but the ashes. But those ashes are not the end. They are the beginning. There's a reason the symbol of the phoenix has lasted for centuries, because it represents a truth that every single one of us needs to hear. Failure, pain, and loss are not your destruction. They're your rebirth. The fire you're in is burning away what no longer serves you. It's clearing out old habits, old beliefs, old versions of yourself that you've outgrown. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels unfair. But it's also preparing you for something stronger, something greater. The phoenix rises not in spite of the ashes, but because of them. There have been times in your life when you've fallen before. You thought you couldn't get back up. You thought you were finished. Yet somehow you did get back up. Maybe it took weeks or years, but you rose, and when you did, you weren't the same. You were stronger, tougher, and more resilient. That's the phoenix within you. It's the part of you that refuses to quit. It's the whisper inside that says, keep going. Rising doesn't mean you come back overnight, wings blazing. Sometimes it's one small step at a time. Sometimes it's learning to breathe again. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed when everything in you says stay down. But each step forward is proof that you can and are rebuilding. Falling does not define you, rising does. Every time you rise from the ashes of your own setbacks, you build resilience. You build courage and character. The people who rise are not the ones who never fall, they're the ones who choose not to stay down. When life knocks you down, you get to decide if this is the end of your story or the beginning of a new one. You can let the ashes bury you, or you can use them as the foundation for something new. The phoenix within you doesn't wait for the perfect time, doesn't wait for permission. It rises because that's its nature. If you're stuck in the ashes of yesterday, remember, you're not broken. You are becoming. This is a chance to rise, not just to who you were before, but who you're always meant to be. The fall may have scarred you. The fire may have tested you, but the phoenix within is ready. It's waiting for you to stand, to lift your head, to take the first step back into life. And when you do, you'll discover that everything you thought would break you is what made you unstoppable. We're always being tested in ways we don't always see coming. It's a sudden change at work, a strained relationship, an unexpected news that rattles your world. It's in these moments that most of us either break under the weight of our emotions or try to numb them away. But there's a better option. It's called emotional agility. It's the strength to bend without breaking, or to move with life's challenges instead of being crushed by them. Now, if we're being honest, most of us were never taught how to work with our emotions. We were taught math and science and history, but rarely how to sit with disappointment, or how to handle anger without letting it explode, or how to embrace sadness without drowning in it. Instead, we either push emotions away, pretending they don't exist, or we get swept away by them. Emotional agility is the balance in between. For a moment, picture a tree in the middle of a storm. The stiff, rigid tree that refuses to bend, well, that's the one that snaps. But the tree that sways with the wind, that bends with the storm, it survives. It grows stronger because it endures. That's what emotional agility does for us. It doesn't remove the storm, but it gives us the flexibility to weather it. So how do we build emotional agility? Well, let me share 3 guiding steps. First, acknowledge without judgment. Too many of us label emotions as good or bad. Happiness is good, anger bad. But emotions are just signals. They're data, not directions. When you feel anxious, it might be telling you that something matters deeply to you. And when you feel frustrated, it could mean your boundaries are being crossed. Instead of pushing feelings down or letting them control you, pause and say, "This is what I'm feeling. What is it trying to teach me?" And then second, create space between you and the emotion. Notice the difference between saying, "I'm angry" versus "I'm feeling anger." One ties your identity to the emotion, while the other reminds you that it's temporary. Anger, sadness, or fear, they're just visitors. They knock on your door, but they don't get to move in and take over the house. Naming your emotions creates space to respond rather than react. And third, move forward with values, not moods. This is the heart of emotional agility. Too often we let how we feel dictate what we do. I don't feel like working out, so I won't. I feel nervous, so I won't apply for that job. But when you act only on mood, life becomes unpredictable. Emotional agility means asking, what do I value? Who do I want to be in this moment? You might feel fear, but if you value growth, you take the step anyways. You might feel tired, but if you value health, you still choose to move your body. Emotional agility doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger. It allows you to live with authenticity even when emotions run high. It allows you to stand in the middle of life's storms and know, this may bend me, but it will not break me. Stop fighting your emotions or drowning in them. Instead, practice noticing them, creating space, and choosing values over moods. Because when you master emotional agility, you no longer fear the storm. You become the tree that bends and sways and ultimately grows deeper roots through every challenge. And that is how you build a life not ruled by emotions, but guided by wisdom. It's not a matter of talent, and you don't need more hours in the day. It's not about motivation. You just need the discipline to say no. No is the gatekeeper to your time, your energy, and your purpose. But too many people spend their lives saying yes to everything. Yes to things that they don't want, don't believe in, or can't afford. Every yes you give away without a thought is a no to your goals. Yes to the party, no to rest. Yes to junk food, no to health. Yes to the unnecessary meeting, no to progress. Yes to people pleasing, no to your peace. The discipline of saying no is not about being negative or selfish. It's about being strategic. It's about being honest with what matters most to you. It's about protecting your mission from the noise of the world. When you're ready to start, follow these steps. First, pause. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals, my values, and my purpose? If the answer is no, then your response should be no too. At first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. People won't always like it. You might feel guilty or you fear missing out. But that discomfort is the price of freedom. Because with every no to the wrong thing, you create more space for the right one. Discipline isn't just about grinding through workouts or waking up at 5 a.m. It's also the quiet, powerful moment when you look at something and walk away. Not because you're weak, but because you're focused. Not because you're selfish, but because you're clear. So stop scattering your energy. Start filtering your decisions. And understand this, saying no isn't closing doors. It's opening the ones that truly matter. So say no with confidence. Say no with love. Say no with purpose. Your peace deserves it. Now watch your life transform. Let's get one thing straight, and that is pain isn't the end of the story. You might feel like it in the moment, but pain is not your weakness. Pain is your wake-up call. Every champion, every leader, every person who's ever done something extraordinary has had to face pain, be it emotional, physical, mental, or all of the above. Pain shows up uninvited. It knocks you down. It shakes your confidence and makes you question everything. But pain doesn't show up to destroy you. It shows up to shape you. You can't always control what hurts you, but you can control what you do with the pain. You can hide from it, complain about it, numb it, or you can use it. You can turn it into fuel. That heartbreak, that injury, that rejection, that failure, those sleepless nights when you wondered if you're enough, that's your fire. And when you harness that pain instead of running from it, you become dangerous in the best way possible because you're focused, driven, and relentless. Think about the pain you felt in your life, the hard times, the disappointment, the struggle. They've already cost you something. Don't let them cost you everything. Don't let pain steal your future too. Use it. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it remind you why you care. Let it push you to show up when you'd rather quit. Because when you stop fighting pain and start training with it, it becomes your edge. Most people crumble under pressure. You are going to rise. Most people break when it gets hard. You're going to break through. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. Turning pain into power doesn't happen overnight, but it happens every time you make a choice to keep going, to get up one more time, to do one more rep, to study a little longer, to show up with a little more fire. Transformation doesn't begin with comfort, it begins with discomfort. It begins when you stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, what is this trying to teach me? See, pain can give you two things: a reason to quit or a reason to rise. And that choice is always yours. If you want to perform at a high level in sport, business, or in life, then you have to stop avoiding discomfort. You have to lean into it, not with bitterness, but with belief. Because every painful moment is a chance to become more focused, more grounded, more unshakable. And if you're hurting right now, if you feel broken, if life has hit you hard, good. That means you've got fuel. You've got something real. Now use it. Turn your pain into power. Turn your setbacks into comebacks. Turn your scars into strength. This isn't about pretending it doesn't hurt. It's about refusing to let the pain be the final chapter. Because pain may write the opening line, but you get to write the rest.